Welcome, my fellow Americans. My name is Timoty Gay Sr., and I am running for presidency of the United States of America in 2012. And as I notice the numbers slowly increasing of the people watching the videos, the first few minutes of this is going to be a get to know me. I have done some things in my past that I may not be proud of. However, it is our past that make us the people that we are today. The situations that we face and the issues that we overcome that makes us better people. I have been arrested for a DUI, so there's no surprises that come up later or at any time during this campaign. I have also, in order to put food on the table for my family, have regrettably written a bad check or two to put food on the family's table. Again, as I say, there's a lot of things I'm not proud of. I can't say that I would change any of it for the simple fact, like I said, it's what you come through and it's what you overcome that makes you the person that you are today. I do regret some of my decisions in my past. However, I am a better person today for having to overcome some of those situations. Now to get into the situation, what's going on. I noticed in Arizona today they are voting to take and cut Medicaid completely, which would be the access for the needy families, because they say that it costs the state too much money. I say you do this and people can't afford the medical and stuff, you're going to have a lot of people dying unnecessarily. The next thing that you're going to do, which they already have, they've cut it down from, on the welfare, they've cut it down from 5 years to 3 years. And I, for one, know that some disability cases can take longer than 3 years to be resolved. And unfortunately, with all the red tape, it seems like for the people that need the disability, they have to fight until the bitter end to get it, when there are some that don't need it that are issued it right away. Yes, I have been fighting. July of this year would be 3 years for my disability. And one may ask, if you're filing for your disability, how can you perform the office of president? There is no decision or no situation that could face this country that I would not be able and be ready to respond. My disability is that I can't sit for extended periods of time because my back stiffens up and mobility becomes very limited. I cannot do the heavy lifting of unloading trucks or anything like I have done in the past. There would be no heavy lifting physically for the office of President of the United States. There may be some heavy lifting mentally, which I am quite capable of facing. Talking about cutting the Medicaid and Medicare, I'm sorry. And this economy is the worst economy since the Great Depression, and the Great Depression is what brought us the welfare system and the medical system for the needy and for the elderly. And here we are in the worst economy since the Great Depression. You hear Republicans say that you can't raise taxes in this economy, it will kill this economy. One of the first steps that were done to start bringing us out of the Great Depression was to raise taxes on businesses and on working and on the employed. So, but I don't want to raise the taxes. I want to cut the spending. And like I said before, cutting the IRS by 75% so they could regulate a flat tax, and to make sure that the business are instituting and taking taxes when they're supposed to be taking taxes and not taking taxes when they're not supposed to. That way we can keep our Social Security. We can keep our welfare system in place. However, I think there needs to be some adjustments to that. It needs to be regulated better. The background checks actually need to be performed to make sure that the people that don't need it don't receive it. And the same on the disability. I believe that if anybody can bring in the documentation, such as x-rays, MRIs, and statements from at least 2 doctors, or a doctor and a surgeon, should be more than enough to overwrite the red tape that the government has installed on the disability. I know this for a fact because I have the documentation. Social Security Disability Department has the documentation on my disability. A surgeon that says that there's no sense in doing it because 2 to 5 years down the road you'll just be going back under another surgery and it doesn't matter. You're still, even with a surgery, very limited in what you can do, physical-wise. Now, as I look at the welfare system, even though it is regulated by the states now, it is still a federally funded program for the needy. And it began back in the 1930s during the Great Depression. The U.S. government responded to the overwhelming number of families and individuals in need of aid by creating the welfare program that would give assistance to those who had little or no income. We have millions of Americans still out of work because we still refuse to drill for oil in our country and end our dependency on foreign oil. Well, some of the opponents to this say we can't drill enough here. We have millions of people unemployed. There is oil located in each and every state that we can put people back to work in every state drilling for oil within our own borders. There's enough oil that, yes, we need green energy. And as we're working on that, we still do not need dependency on foreign oil. We can get rid of that, and we can start that today. Also in the Medicaid, yes, it is a balance of federally funded and state funded for your medical, for Medicaid. Same for Medicare. However, one of the top 5 things that I would do as President of the United States is I would launch an investigation into every governor's office in every state of this country. For every federal dollar that has been sent to them for the welfare system and for the Medicaid and Medicare system has to be accounted for that it was used for that purpose and that purpose only. I have a funny feeling that if we launch these investigations, we will find that this is not the case in all 50 states. I have a feeling some of the federal money that has been sent to these states for these purposes has been used in general funds for other projects. We need to make our government accountable for what they do. As we look, as the landscape has changed over the past decade in Washington, one thing remains the same: that we, the American people, keep sending Republicans and Democrats to run this country to where they butt heads at every turn. We need to start sending people that is not affiliated with any party, but that has good ideas and that can make this economy thrive. Yes, that's the change that we need. A change that we can believe in, a change that we can thrive in, and a change that reaches out to each and every person in America. At this point in time, we cannot turn our back on the needy or the elderly. And let's not forget, it is the senior citizens of this country that has built this country. They have paid into their Social Security and into their Medicare all their working lives. And yet we want to talk about cutting entitlements. Again, I say we need to cut foreign aid by 75% and use that 75% for programs that actually work here in this country. We need to go through the budget. Truthfully, go through the budget and get rid of the programs that do not work. I'm sorry. I know that reform needs to be done. Like I said, we need to make sure that the people that don't need to be getting disability and getting the welfare don't get it by doing the background checks on the welfare. And if a person can't produce the documentation or doctor statements that are stating that their disability is true, then they should not get their disability. That's the reform that we need. We need to make sure that there is no abuse of either of these programs. In this economy, I would move that we extend the welfare program to the needy families. We do not need to add to our homeless situation. We do not need to be sending money to foreign countries when we have homeless right here in America right now. Again, the Bible says that charity starts at home. We need to take care of our own first. And then when that is met, then we can reach out to other countries. Let's not forget that in this time of need, we need to band together as Americans. We need to drill for oil within our own borders, ending our dependency on foreign oil. Another subject I'm going to touch on real quick because I don't have a lot of time is we need to cut down on the border violence with the drug cartels. And you realize we have over 500,000 people in our prison systems on drug-related nonviolent crimes. And yet the cry is for us to build prisons in neighborhoods with our schools. We can survive with the prisons that we have if we just take a step, and we can secure our borders even further, and we can make a dent in our war with drug cartel at the border. By legalizing marijuana, we can regulate it like we do alcohol, and we can tax it like we do cigarettes. And this would increase revenue, and it would put more people back to work. I believe that the benefits far, far outweigh the risk in the situation. Now, until next time, I want to remind you, Timoty Gay Sr. for president in 2012. As of now, write that name in. I'm trying to get everything done to be on the ballots of all 50 states. You can email me at Timoty Gay Sr. 4 prez@yahoo.com. I want to thank you for your time, and may God bless America.